Hi guys, welcome to the Purls of Color podcast. I'm Sarah. You can find me on Ravelry as Sarloz, on Instagram as Sarloz_Pearls of Color, and on my blog, which is purlsofcolor.blogspot.com. Sorry guys, I'm just reaching for a cough drop. As you can tell, my throat is a bit scratchy today. I'm a bit under the weather. I have bronchitis. Right now the cough syrup I'm on is currently working, so hopefully I won't be coughing this episode. I am going to have a cough drop though, just in case. I have tried recording several times over the past week, but have not been able to get an episode up because it's just too much coughing going on in them. So I'm hoping this works out today. This is episode 20, and I really need to get a podcast out because I have some fantastic giveaway upcoming events that's super exciting that I wanted to mention. So I am taking the time out of my day. Really, my day is just watching Netflix right now and relaxing. I cannot take antibiotics, so I am kind of on a slow, natural recovery with bronchitis. And it requires a lot of rest. So I am homesick today, getting some rest that I need. So this is episode 20. And I want to thank, excuse me, I want to thank a few people. The first thank you I want is to thank all my viewers. I want to thank all of those of you who continue to support me, who continue to watch the podcast. I want to thank you, those who are trying out the podcast, because whether you like it or not, you've given me a chance, and I really appreciate that. And if you do enjoy the podcast and come back, I'm even more appreciative. Thank you so much for watching. Then I want to thank Maureen of the podcast Victorian Studio. She's also Victorian Studio on Ravelry, and she has a blog. She's recently started a podcast. She's probably got, I think it's 22 episodes right now, and she is a fabulous podcaster. She's just a natural in front of the camera. Her knitting projects that she has are fabulous. You'll hear her say over and over again that she is a new knitter. She's been knitting for about a year now, but don't let that fool you. Her knitting skills are pretty, I'd say at least intermediate. She's fabulous. She's a fabulous knitter. She takes her time. She has no problem with going back and fixing things, and she's constantly, you can see her learning new things. You can see her excitement and her passion in her knitting, and you can really see that she's more than willing to give everything a try, and she really does. And I think that is one of the most important things when you're a crafter, is just learning new things and new techniques, and not to let things intimidate you. And I think Maureen is a perfect example of someone who goes out there and reaches for the next step. And her knitting's fabulous. I highly recommend her podcast. Not only is her podcast wonderful, but she is a terrific person. She's super sweet. She's super friendly. I have enjoyed the friendship we have come to know since I've met her. And she is more than willing all the time to test patterns out for me. And she has mentioned me quite a few times on her podcast, and I realize I really haven't mentioned her much. So this is my shout out for Maureen. Her podcast is Victorian Studio. You can search it on YouTube and it'll pop up, and it's fabulous. So please go check her out. Let's return the love that she gives me. And then my last thank you. Oh, sorry, that's my timer. I have tons of timers set on my phone for the kids I work with and when they have certain sessions, and I have not shut any of them off. So, yeah, share the love. My next thank you goes out to Katie from Never Enough Time Yarn. Katie is fabulous. We are Instagram friends. She always writes a little note to me on my purchases from her. She watches the podcast, and I've enjoyed conversing back and forth with her on Instagram. She's really fabulous, and I've enjoyed talking to her on Etsy. She is so willing to always, if I have something that I need dyed up, she's willing to do it. Her customer service is wonderful. She's super friendly, and she is a great supporter of the podcast. If you guys remember our last giveaway for the sock along, she had donated one of her contrast and heel toe sets. And this come in January, I am doing a collaboration with her that I'll talk about a little bit later. But once again, she's been fabulous in all of it. She's been super generous with her donations and everything. So this is my shout out to her. I know I'm always mentioning their yarn shop on the podcast, but it's because it's definitely one of my favorite shops to buy yarn from on Etsy. I've never met a dyer whose color scheme is so me. Everything she dyes, I want. There's not one thing she's ever put up in her shop that I have not wanted or haven't liked. Every single thing she has on there, I wish I could have like one of them all, or two of them all even. They're just fabulous. So I want to give them a huge, I want to give her and her partner Jane a huge shout out and a huge thank you for your generosity and your support of the podcast, of course. So thank you. I don't have a lot of FOs I'm going to really talk about. I do have some that I'll show you, but they're in relation to some patterns that I'm releasing. So I'll show you those. There have been other things I've knit on. I'm not going to show them because I'm hoping this episode can be kept kind of on the short side because I'm a bit under the weather. So let me just get started. The first pattern release that I had since I last talked to you was my Mermaid's Web cowl. And I finally, the drop stitch cowl that I had made a while back, I finally adjusted it and put it and published it onto Ravelry. It's a free pattern, and it's a lovely cowl. It's made with either Aran weight or DK weight. I've done a couple of both. I personally like the bulky weight, and this one's a single ply because it makes a super nice winter cowl, and it's super cozy. So I've made a couple. All my recipients have enjoyed them a lot, really like them. This one is made with Bernat Woven, which is a bulky single plied yarn. Let's see if I can get a close up. It's really soft. It doesn't itch. I think it's acrylic. I actually don't think it's wool, but even the more better, right? It can be washed. So I definitely wanted to show you guys this because I think it's just gorgeous. Everybody so far who has made one has made it within a day or two, and it just takes one skein of whatever bulky yarn you have or whatever Aran weight you have. Because it is a cowl, it can be a short one, or you can make it as long as you want to wrap it double. So the size is pretty adjustable. It's a free pattern. You can find it on Ravelry as well as my blog. And yeah, I hope you enjoy it. So far, all the ones I've seen knit up are just so lovely. There's a lot of variegated ones with O-loops yarn because I posted this. This was part of, project was part of their O-loops Harry Potter knit along. That's where I got the inspiration for it. And, well, I started it last year, but I wasn't really inspired to finish it until this year with the Harry Potter knit along. So I finished it up. And then there's a few things about it I wanted to tweak. So I did tweak it and made it into a pattern. And it's called Mermaid's Web because it kind of reminds me of like a fin. Whether like a fish's fin or like a mermaid's fin, where you got the webbing like in between. So that's this cowl. That was the first one I released. And then this week, earlier this week, I released my Lady Edith sock finally. So it's a color work pattern, but it's only up on the leg and on the toe. It's written as an ankle sock, but you can definitely adjust it by adding a longer leg. And then obviously, of course, add in a longer foot if your feet are bigger. You can adjust the amount of stitches. I wrote it for 60 stitches. However, I wrote in the pattern how you can use it for more stitches. There is a disclaimer I want to put in there. When I knit these socks, I knit them with a double gusset heel. And the double gusset heel is by Christy Payne on Ravelry. Her pattern is the basic sock with a double gusset heel. It's a free pattern. Your gusset decreases are actually on the bottom of your foot. So they start here and they go down. And then there's a small other gusset that comes right after it. And I love the double gusset sock. I just like the way it fits my foot over a traditional gusset sock. I guess right around my ankle, my feet are a little bit narrower than the rest of my foot. So when I do a traditional side gusset decrease, it's just really baggy around my foot. And I just haven't been able to adjust, like find the perfect fit for me with that heel. So I use the double gusset. However, the double gusset sock heel is not, it's not my pattern. I don't have the rights to it. I didn't feel like it was right to add Christy's pattern to mine, even if I asked her, and she said it was okay. So the pattern is written with a traditional gusset where the decreases are on the side. So yours is going to look slightly different than what mine looks like, because whereas you can't really see my decreases when you wear them, you'll have yours on the side. It doesn't make a huge difference. I don't think it does anyways in look, but I just want to put that out there for you. You can interchange them. If you want to look that's similar to mine and you want to try the double gusset heel out, you definitely can replace the two. So that's my disclaimer on the socks. Right now the sock is a paid for pattern. It is $3 on Ravelry. I do have a coupon code right now that you can use. The coupon code is Purls of Color. It's one word, and it's for $1 off of the pattern. So you can get them right now for $2 until the end of the year. There is a giveaway for it going on in the podcast group as well. You have to be a member to enter, but to enter, all you have to do is tell me what is your favorite heel to knit for socks, and that enters you into the giveaway. The giveaway will end December 1st, and I will draw a winner and send you a copy of that pattern when I pull that name. I'm not going to wait to announce it on a podcast. I'm just going to pull the name, send the winner a message, and let them know the pattern is on the way, because otherwise it'll just take too much time to get it out. So if you want a copy of the Lady Edith socks, you can enter for the giveaway. I did give a pattern away to Maureen of Victorian Studio for a giveaway on her podcast. So if you're a member there or join her group, you can join that giveaway as well. And I just asked that if you win that in her podcast and you happen to be drawn for mine, if you could just message me to let me know, so that if I draw your name, I can pull somebody else. And then if you use the coupon code Purls of Color, you can get $2 off if you don't want to wait for the giveaway to end. That coupon code is good until the end of the year. And then I have another sock that I've been working on. Some of you have seen it on Instagram. I think I showed a little bit of it off in the last podcast, and it's my Halloween inspired socks. It's inspired by Hocus Pocus. The pattern is called Sanderson Sisters. It is being tested right now, and I'm hoping to have it released the beginning of December, sometime in the first couple weeks of December. It all depends on when my test knitters get done with it. So here's the sock. it's got this twisted stitch design panel. Each one of those columns represents one of the sisters. I knit it in Vivid Studios yarn. It's that Cackle colorway. And then, of course, Never Enough Times yarn and Witchy Poo for the toe, heel, and cuff. Toe, heel, and cuff. I love contrast in socks. I think they're super fun to make, and plus it lets me be able to get as many socks as I can out of one skein of yarn. I only use about 40, just under 40 grams whenever I make a pair of socks for myself, because they're always ankle socks. And then using the contrast in color really helps me get as much as I can out of it, because I use about 15 grams. So between the two socks. So then I could probably get 2 pairs of socks and a couple scrap blanket squares done with leftovers. So the Sanderson sisters, it is Halloween inspired, and my color scheme is very Halloweenish. But the design itself is very gender neutral. So, you know, they don't have to be Halloween socks. They can be whatever. I actually really enjoy this pattern. It's really, I think, fun to knit, and it's simple to remember. I like them. This has an afterthought heel too, so that you don't have to disrupt your flow when you're knitting these. This is the first pattern I've added an afterthought heel. It's only my second time knitting an afterthought heel, but I really like the way it fits my foot, and I think I'm going to have to knit more afterthought heels. So this one I'm hoping to release next month. I've got it being tested right now. It is a mirror image, so there is a left and a right foot, so that it's just where the panel is placed. One panel is placed on, all the panels are placed on the outside of the foot, but that just kind of changes the position on the second sock. So yeah, so they're mirrored. Panels are right on the outer side. And then the last pattern that I'm going to release, well, that I'm working on right now, I have sketches for another design, which I'll talk about a little later. So I have, I've been sewing project bags, guys. This was my first one. The lining itself doesn't have the seam hidden, but that was fine for my first attempt. I was just trying to get the hang of using the sewing machine, because it's been a long time since I used one, since I was a little kid. I used my mom's Singer sewing machine. She has one of those old ones. I want to say it's like 1940s maybe. She's got two now. One of them my sister found at a yard sale. She paid $5 for it. The guy was asking nothing for it. He wanted to just give it away for free, but she felt too guilty because she knew that it was a great sewing machine. And unfortunately, she only had $5 on her. Otherwise, she probably would have given him more. She felt kind of bad that it was such a good deal. But what it was a Singer sewing machine with the actual work desk and the stool that goes with it. And then my mom had an original one too from her great-grandmother or her grandmother that was handed down to her. So I used her older one, the one that I've known since I was a little girl. And it kind of has a special spot in my heart. So it was really nice using it again. And, you know, one day I do hope to inherit it. When I do get my own place, I do plan on getting a sewing machine of my own until then, though. So, yeah, I got two that I made. There's this Halloween one. This was the latest one. This one I added the fabric over the zipper. I added a handle, and it has interfacing. And I did a top stitch on it to secure it. The second one I made had the interfacing. I didn't add the fabric or the top stitch or the handle. That one I really like the shape of a lot more though. That I gave away to my swap partner for the Harry Potter knit-along. So yeah, so I've been doing that. I've been making some project bags, but the reason I mentioned them was because the current project I'm making, or pattern that I'm working on, is sitting in my frosty bag because it is a Christmas ornament. So it's this little guy. He's a little papa reindeer. The pattern itself will include directions to make him, a mama reindeer, and a baby reindeer. All reindeers have a different shape to their face. One of them's a bit more rounder, one of them's more bell-shaped. I didn't want them all to be the same shape. If I was going to do, it's going to be a paid-for pattern. I wanted it to have as many options as possible. So they're all different shapes. And they're being tested out right now. I just sent them out to test knitters. I'm hoping to have the pattern released by the beginning of December as well. This one I have not added a hanger to yet. But normally I put the hanger right between the ears and then add a little jingle bell to them. I don't have the other two to show you. I gave them away as gifts last year. This year when I wanted to finish the pattern up, I knit him first because I didn't like the shape of the original one. I didn't like where I put the decreases, so I redid him. And I am working on the other two. I'll have some I'm hoping to have those done with pictures by the time the new pattern is released. So that's what I'm working on. And the last thing I want to talk to you about is another sock along I am going to be doing in the group. It's going to run from December 15th to January 15th, and it is a collaboration with Never Enough Time Yarn on Etsy, and I'm super excited about this. So all of my patterns so far for socks have been contrasted heel-toe socks. Like I said, I really enjoy knitting socks that way, and I really love Never Enough Time Yarn's contrast and heel-toe sock set. She currently has some that she just put up in the shop right now, so go over there and buy them before I do, because I've got them sitting in my cart right now. I figure if it's meant to be, they'll still be there later on when I decide to check them out. I'm supposed to be good though, guys, and I'm not supposed to buy yarn right now, but I just can't help myself sometimes. Anyways, for this knit along, it's going to be contrast and heel-toe socks. If you knit, if you knit some socks using yarn from Never Enough Time, you can enter your socks twice. If you use one of my patterns, you can enter your socks twice. If you use a combination of my socks and her yarn, you can enter it 3 times. Because you have so many options for double entries or even a triple entry, you're only allowed to enter 1 pair of socks during this knit along. I know in knit alongs in the past, I've allowed you to post as many projects as you finish in that time frame, but for this one, I'm going to keep it to 1 pair of socks. I really want to promote Katie's yarn, and I really want to promote my patterns because obviously they're my patterns, but I really want to get my designs out there and maybe start some type of business at some point. So I do have several patterns right now. I already got a free sock pattern, which is a single mock cable sock. I have a free heart ornament, a free Christmas tree ornament. I have mermaid's cowl, and I have my Lady Eater socks, and 2 patterns hopefully to be released next month. So that's what this knit along is really going to be about. It's really going to be about promoting my patterns and promoting Katie's yarn, because she has been so generous before to make donations, and I thought it would be a nice way to say thank you. In return, she has given you guys a coupon code to use until the end of the year. You get 15% off your purchase of her yarn with the coupon code Purls of Color 15. Now, if you plan on participating in the knit along, this is probably the perfect time to use that coupon code and purchase one of her heel toe sock sets. It's a great deal. For $27 US dollars, you get a full skein of her yarn, which is 463 skeins of fingering weight, and 100 yards of a contrast and heel toe yarn. And altogether, that's 563 yards of yarn for only $27. That's a really good deal if you buy an indie dyed yarn. So I definitely encourage you to go for that triple entry. Or even just a double entry using her yarn or my pattern. I really hope you guys take advantage of it. It'll be fun. I'm really looking forward to this knit along. Katie is donating a prize. She will be donating a new colorway that she is specifically dyeing up to match the other prize you guys will be getting. I will be also knitting, not knitting, I keep saying knitting. I will be sewing a project bag for you guys using this this fabric here. And so it says lovebirds, and it's got your two birds and some hearts. I got quite a bit of it, so thinking you'll probably get like a medium-sized bag. That's pretty much a good representation of the color. As I get closer, it's not as good. There, that's a really good representation. So she'll be dyeing up a skein of yarn to match. The set will have a contrast and heel toe, and she is sending me two. One is for you guys, and one is for myself because it's going to be used in my newest sock design, and it's going to be a Valentine themed sock. And I've already got it all sketched out. I'm super eager to do a swatch sometime soon to see if it actually works out the way I have planned in my head. And that'll be my new sock design. I hope to work on that during the knit along. And then once I get that published, probably by February, I will have a giveaway in February for it. So this knit along will run until January 15th. That'll give me time to ship the bag and the yarn out to you, and you can use it for February. And then in February, I'll probably I'll do my best to have the pattern done by February so that you guys can win a copy of it, of the socks that I work on. And I'm super excited. It's going to be a lot of fun. I hope you guys join. I hope you guys take advantage of the coupon code that Katie has given you. So she did add some new yarn to her shop today, like I said, so go check her out. Alright guys, I'm going to end the episode there. I don't want to babble on too much. I'm hoping to get some charms as well, guys, to go with this. So maybe give you a progress keeper or a zipper pull with it as well. So those are the plans. And I hope you join the podcast group for those of you who have not yet, because that's where you're going to see the most updated information. I don't always get a chance to mention everything on the podcast. Sometimes I do stuff in between podcast episodes. I'll post on there. So that's the best way to stay up to date with any giveaways or knit-alongs. So please join the group. And I'll talk to you guys next time. Happy knitting. Bye.